So we're gonna talk about the moon. We're gonna stay in tune with the moon, what the moon is next to, what the moon is doing. Wow, okay. So at midnight, the moon crossed over into Leo energy. So we now have, the moon moves about 13 degrees in a day. So it takes about 2 hours or so for the moon to move into the next degree. So we're kind of fresh here into the Leo energy and we're approaching Jupiter. So, you know, the moon is our celestial womb, our internal, where we give birth, to our ideas, projects, people, things of that nature. And it being close to Jupiter, it's kind of, not kind of, it is aligning your third eye because the moon rules over the internal side of your third eye with um, your sacral chakra, your joy, your pleasure space. So we want to nurture your pleasures. What makes you happy? What makes you, feel optimistic, and what expands you. Also, where do you get your wisdom from? From here, you can go inward. You can meditate. You can do all the things to get your wisdom. Tap into your inner Tahuti or your Moja energy from you know, your Chokma into your Yamoja energy, or Tahuti to Yamoja energy here. And in it being done in a Leo way, it wants to, be in a space of romance, romanticizing, how we give birth to our optimism, our expansion, our abundance, our luck. Business pursuits are very heavy here too. This is a great connection for creative businesses. This is also a great way to connect with your inner child energy. All right, so you definitely want to be there. For those of you guys, wherever Leo is in your chart, you could feel that emotional connection to this space, the desire to nurture wherever Leo is in your chart. It can go from rising, I am, to the sun, I experience, to the moon, I feel, Venus, I deserve or I desire. Mercury is to I decide or I speak. Mars is I do, you know. So you can go anywhere in your chart where that Leo energy is and feel that emotional connection, be in tune with just your third eye connection there for your expansion. And then this is all going towards the fourth house. So this is going towards home and family. Hey, Adonis. This is going towards home and family. This is going towards our comfort zone energy, going inward. Once again, we're tapped into, our third eye and being in our spiritual, intuitive self. So I got into it real heavy with you guys in the planetary forecast yesterday, especially my fire babies talking about, doing and acting. And it's not just about doing and acting, it's also about feeling and going inward and meditating. We want a blend of both. And honestly, that was like the happy new moon. That was honestly like the alignment with both, all four of the elements yesterday. And so we know that that Leo energy has a connection to Aries, who has Neptune and Saturn in there, bringing the structure to your dreams, infrastructure to, your subconscious, your inspiration, your belief system. And right now that's in the space of endings too. So we're in the last bit of, time and space, as we start to embark on our new lunar cycle, to take on new projects. Well, how about some of those beliefs, some of those thoughts? Some of you guys got like that imposter syndrome. I can't do it. I'm not enough. Or if I do this first, then I'll finally be able to do that, this, that, and the third. Well, Jupiter is like, we don't have to do all that. Jupiter is very optimistic. Jupiter can sometimes be very much outward to the point where like we could be a little delulu here with Jupiter. Jupiter rules over the nervous system when we get into traditional, Pisces energy. In the same breath, that's how we get things done. Like, really pay attention and think about all the people that we've watched, even on social media, on these ones and zeros. How many people have you watched that were like extremely delusional about what they wanted, what they were doing, what they were going to achieve, and then we watched them actually get it? Because they put that energy out so much, it created like this sense of respect from other people around them. And then it does create, the stars to align for them to actually have that in their space. And I think that's really cool. And that's definitely something you guys should take on. When you move in your delusions, it makes things happen. And so we also have Lilith over there in Sagittarius to remind us, hey, a lot of the quote unquote indoctrination, or even when we go back into Saturn over there in Aries, we want a new beginning in your discipline and order, right? We want a new beginning, and I appreciate the hearts and the gifts, y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. We want a new beginning in your sense of understanding and who has been your authority when it comes to your belief system and your inspirations, all right? We want new beginnings in these spaces so that when you do embark on this Lilith and Sagittarius, we know you're fully embodying this celestial placement that's saying, hey, I'm going against the grain. I'm not doing the things that have been done before. I'm not going to do it the way it has been done before, because I'm not under the restrictions of what society said, or whoever it was that was in your sense of authority that was controlling your root chakra, telling you you couldn't do certain things, or that's not mature, or this isn't realistic, that shouldn't happen, you shouldn't have this, and these things in the third. And Lilith is like, no more of that. We're over here in our primordial energy, in this space of expansion and abundance, in this space of luck and business and love. This is where we want to be, and this is what we're going to do, and it's how we're going to do it, and that's that. Like, it's not up for debate. Now, as the moon gets closer and closer to Jupiter, the sun is starting to get closer and closer to Jupiter as well. It's going to be more difficult to ignore your inner child, your inner creative energy, that person that, Leo is fixed fire. And while fixed fire energy does seem to be very opinionated, they don't like other people's opinions. You can't really, I don't know if y'all ever tried to tell Leo what to do, but I got two boys. One of them is a Leo rising, and one of them has a Leo sun and moon. And baby, you're not telling them boys what to do. I have a Leo rising. You ain't telling me what to do neither, okay? So, it's very difficult to come in with your opinion. It's like a certain way you have to communicate with them. Like when my boys were younger, I had to learn how to talk to them and say, hey, here's your options. This is what we got to do. This is the cause and effect. And then I give them the options they have, and I give them the liberty to make their choices. And now I have some really good kids that know how to problem solve. And now they be helping me solve my problems. So, in this space, it's like a lot of the indoctrination that we have going on for us and stuff. It's not serving us. It's not going to serve us in our solar plexus chakra. It's not going to serve us in our fire. Fire is about moving. Fire is about getting things done. Fire is about action, okay? It's taking action. And a lot of our actions, we've been wearing the chains of society, the chains of law and order, but it's not the law and order that we created for ourselves. It's the law and order that's been imposed upon us. And Lilith says no more of that. We're not doing that anymore. Lilith is also in the 8th house with it, with building and destroying. So we're in a space of destruction and construction here. Again, like I'm saying, allow the moon to give you guys the intuition that y'all need to realize it's time to go outside of what you have been accustomed of doing. What have you been in it's just, and I want you guys to tune in with your inner child too. When your inner child came onto this physical plane, what was some of the imaginary play that your inner child engaged in the most? What did they like to do? What brought them joy? What brought them luck? Like, every time I did this, something lucky happened. So like, your inner child, make sure they did that again, or like, go back inward to those inner younger versions of you and have those conversations. Peace, y'all. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. Go back into that energy, and remember, this is fire too. So I know that we're in water houses with the fire at the moment. So it's like having a balance of, I act and I also feel. I'm also tuning in. I'm also programming, because water holds memory. We, program in the water. So you guys know the experiment when you speak into the cup of water and you're saying nice things and you're playing the jazz music, and there's a certain way, just like I was telling you, there's a certain way I had to talk to my sons. they're the glasses of water. How you speak to your inner child, your inner children, your inner younger selves, those are the glasses of water. And how you choose to speak to them and communicate with them and say, all right, well, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to do it this way, we're going to do that way, this, that, and the third. Like, all that stuff matters. So I want you guys, while this moon is in Leo, approaching Jupiter, and the sun is getting closer and closer to Jupiter, I want you to program your waters. Program yourself. Program the waters that your brain is sitting in. Program the waters that pumps through your heart, to and from your veins and your arteries. Program the liquid that your organelles and your cells sit within. Program the waters of your gut. Program the waters that's in your mouth that help you to formulate the words, to have certain conversations with other people, places, things, situations, ideas. Program your waters, and then act. Then we're going to act, right? So this is your reading for the day, y'all. I ain't going to hold y'all too long. I'm trying to make these drawings short and sweet. So, I really pulled an action card. I don't be looking at these. I promise I don't. I just be pulling them. Y'all sit here and watch me shuffle. It's action. It's nettle. Nettle is the herb for today. And we are in Mars and Pluto. So again, see how Pluto is about water? This is Scorpio. This is transformational energy. And Mars is the fire. So again, like I said, not only are we programming, we are also acting. So I want y'all to find a blend of the both. We have 2 and 1. This is wisdom and knowledge that brings us a sense of understanding. 3, understanding, that's that Saturn energy. Also, once again, asking you the question, who has been in your authority? What has been your discipline? What has been your order? And how has it been serving you? And if, go back and forth like, well, this has been keeping me alive, but being present is actually bringing me down. And every time I think about this, I go into a spiral and I get depressed and I get sad and I get angry and I get upset. Those are signs of misalignment. This, what you were doing at once upon a time, it helped you. It helped you get through to this point. We give thanks. Now let's let it go. Let's use that 12th house, that Pisces house, to let it go, says Saturn and Neptune over there in Aries. It's okay. We have the 9 of Wands. Once again, let it go. Let it go. Let go what doesn't serve us. Let it go what's in our understanding that's just in the way, and it's keeping us, stagnant. It's keeping us from realizing that we can do new things. We don't have to keep doing the same things. We don't have to do the things that our parents did, our grandparents did. We don't have to do any of those things. We can do something totally different because it's our turn now. And you just have to, I get there's a lot of programming that has been on your waters, even from the time that you were in your mother's womb or your grandmother's womb. There was a lot of programming happening, right? A lot of this is how we speak, down to the vaccines and the medication and the food and stuff that was being pumped into their bodies. Even your father, who had the sperm in his waters, how he was speaking to himself, how life was being spoken unto him, the whole process of conception. Some of y'all wasn't conceived in the nicest of spaces where, it was very intentional what was spoken to the waters while you guys were being conceived. So it's a lot of deprogramming. Yes, I'm not saying this is going to be a one-time fix all and you're going to save the day tomorrow. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying this is where we start. All right. And it's a great time to start doing a new moon because this is a new moon cycle. Now we're starting a new lunar cycle. So if you take the time out, I say give yourself an hour at least. That is the very least, is an hour. If you can give an hour to a TV show, to doom scrolling, to your job, or this, that, and third, then you can give yourself an hour to just sit and intentionally program your waters. And I challenge you to give yourself at least an hour a day. If you can do more than an hour, awesome. But give yourself at least an hour a day. Like when I first wake up in the morning, I don't do anything. I don't say anything. I literally lay there and I program my waters. And then I get up and start my day. And I try to see how long I can go without speaking, but people start calling my phone and blah, blah, blah. But I challenge you guys to give yourself at least an hour. We also have this here. So I know that this sometimes is a sign of instability, but honestly, the reverse Four of Pentacles is calling on you guys to break away of some of those things that have been programmed into you, right? You see, we've been sitting on the shoulders of our elders and this person and that person. Once again, reiterating that, what has been programmed into us for generations, a lot of us are from the generation of Pluto and Scorpio. We're literally here to provide transformations to the empire in existence. We're not here to do the same things. And I know that can be really scary because if you were to go to your elders or you were to go to these career people that have been in these spaces for so many years, for so much time, they're going to give you the indoctrinated response. They're going to give you the, oh, well, we've been doing it like this whole time and you're just coming here and da-da-da-da. Yeah, because it's time for something new. I understand that that's what y'all been doing. That's what has worked for you. Hey, Juanita, that's what has been working this whole time. We understand that. In the same breath, we also need to understand that it's time for something new. We can outgrow things even though they work, because they working, but how happy have you guys been? How joyous have you been? How much have you guys expanded, said Jupiter? How much are you guys learning? How much wisdom is coming into this space? Or are we just in this cyclic routine of no growth, but we're still in the same 360? No 361, no 720, none of that. Just the same 360, same 360. How much longer are we going to keep doing the same 360? Don't you want to expand to more degrees? Don't you want to experience more than the same 12 zodiacs? I want to go to the 13. I want to touch the other zodiacs that's not on the ecliptic. Let's get out of this. Let's go above and beyond. We'll press ourselves to focus on. We're going to focus on the Saturn and Pisces, which brings the infrastructure once again. Saturn and Neptune over there next to each other. So we are focusing on that, bringing that structure, and also bringing endings, because Pisces is that energy of endings that to like our sense of understanding. So basically, reiterating what I said, the Eight of Cups, and then this is Had. So Had is Mercury, that's splendor, that's Sebek. That's how we've been labeling and compartmentalizing things. So the way we've been labeling and compartmentalizing things needs to be coming to an end. Our education, that was another thing I was going to say, because we've been in the education system for about 12, 13, 14 years. Some of you guys longer than that if you had to, repeat a grade. You figure now they're doing us even younger. They got the kids in like preschool at age 3 or 4 now, all the way up to 12th grade. And then, you go to higher education, all those different things. And that's all, I won't call it a distraction, but I will say like a lot of that stuff is, behavioral indoctrination. Like you've been taught how to regurgitate scientific facts, but have you been taught how to be a scientist? We've been taught to regurgitate, oh, Darwin said this, Darwin said that, da da da. But have we been taught how to go through the process to challenge what Darwin came up with? Or are we just being taught to keep saying what he's been saying? At some point in time, the science has to expand, right? At some point in time, we have to discover new things. We're here to challenge what you guys have been learning so that we can keep expanding and growing, And we have a lot of energy and people and places and things here that are constantly in a cycle. Like we sit here and say, you guys have been studying cancer for how many years? Why are you still pretending like there's no cure? You guys have been studying HIV for how many years? How long are we going to keep pretending like there's no cure? How long are we going to keep moving in this cycle of healthcare? How long are we going to keep moving in the science of history and socio-political science? Like, how long are we going to keep staying in these cycles and we know better? How long are we going to keep the economics going the way that it's going, knowing that it's not benefiting us? And it's like, we're here to do different. We're here to break through a lot of those things and do something different. This card actually fell out and I was like, let me just keep it. But this is Mars in Scorpio. So we come into the solar plexus chakra here because this is the Oya Ogun connection. It starts with Ogun, that fire in the gut, that Mars energy that gives you the idea. And then Scorpio goes ahead and responds and creates the transformations. So if you feel it in your gut, if you feel it in your intuition, if you feel it in your blood pressure, that something is off and it's not in alignment, go ahead and create those transformations. Go ahead and destroy some things and rebuild. And don't be afraid. It's not going to look the way other people are doing things, and we're focused on your Javora, which is your Hera Kahuti. This is your celestial enforcer here. You know, when we're in the fifth Sephira or the fifth Netter, depends on, you know, what jargon you want to utilize, all the same. And what are we also focusing on? Perfection in the root chakra. Ooh, that's where a lot of indoctrination comes from, right? And oh, I promise, spirit is beating my ass with this one. Okay, because what's perfection in the root chakra? What's considered perfect for you? Oh, I got the this amount of money in my bank account. I got the car. I got the house. My house looks like this. My clothes look like this. I can afford to do these things for myself, for my children, with my friends, with my loved one, with my spouse. Right? That's perfection, right? All these things in the root chakra just stable and la 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 la. We're staying in the cycle. We're staying in the circle. Who taught you that that's what the perfection looks like? And what's the perfect way of going about achieving these things? And who taught you that? And how well is that serving you? How well are you doing with that? Are you still trying to convince yourself? Oh, you see a couple other people that it's working for, so it must work for you too? I hate to break it to you, but we're not all here to be the same. We're not all here to have the same experience. And sometimes people have certain kind of experiences and it really works for them. So naturally, you just want to shout from the rooftops, this worked for me and I want it to work for all of you too. However, we all don't have the same exact experience on this plane for it to work the same way for all of us, right? So I want you to let go of whatever idea of perfection that you have, because that doesn't exist. There's no such thing as perfect. If there was a such thing as perfect, we all would literally be capable of doing the same exact thing and having the same exact experience, the same name, looking the same way, having the same health care, the same blood type, the same eyesight, the same taste buds, the same way of hearing. We don't. No two people have the same of all of those things. We just don't. So why are we putting that in our space of how we obtain things in our root chakra? It doesn't make sense. Be you, boo. Be you. And then overall, we got 11, the number of mastery and mature man. And it's going to apply to women too. We don't got to get bent up in that part of things, but coming to a space of self-mastery. And self-mastery is on the one. One is being unique. That's a SAR energy, the power to be unique and united. We're not in our ones that isolate ourselves from other people. We're in our ones because I'm a leader. I need to take leadership of my life. Whatever it is that I want to do, I'm probably the only one that wants to do it. And I have to be okay with that. And guess what's going to happen is that when I start to do it, other people will see me do it and they'll be attracted to it. And they might want to do something similar, but they're not going to be able to do exactly what I'm doing. They're just going to, but just the fact that I'm inspiring other people to just be inspired to do something different too, that's enough. You know what I'm saying? That's enough. Nobody can completely copy and paste what it is you got going on. Just do you. So enjoy this space, enjoy this moon and this Leo energy. Enjoy it as it, gets real close to Jupiter and we start to expand on our insight and our intuition and our emotion and our safe spaces. And you guys have a great time. And then it's also Wednesday, y'all. This is the day of communication. This is the day of decision making. All right. So you said, you're Leo? Okay, so you got the moon and Jupiter over in your space. You should be having a wonderful Leo experience today in your emotions and connectivity and safe space. If you guys would like a personal reading, you guys can reach out to me on lessnobodies.com. Your girl got a website now, y'all. You guys can book a reading with me on my website, lessnobodies.com. Or you guys can message me, You can message me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I think you can message on YouTube now. And, I do donation-based readings. That's my first setup, is the tarot spread donation-based reading. And I do astral reading sessions. So if you would like something personal, please reach out. And happy solar return to your grandmother. I love it. It's a great day for a solar return. We're counting down the days for Ezekiel's solar return. He has 10 days now officially before we have our 20th anniversary, and I love that for us. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I told y'all we was gonna be short and sweet. I'm gonna try to make these daily lives short and sweet for y'all. So when you guys are going back and rehashing on YouTube, you're like, dang, I gotta watch 2 hours. Nope, you only got 20 minutes. But if you want to watch that planetary forecast I did yesterday, I ain't gonna hold you. The new moon to new moon planetary forecast is indeed 2 hours. My bad. Time just moves different when I'm in my passion. But that's what I got for y'all today. I love y'all so much. Don't forget to reach out if you would like a personal reading, jewelry, or whatever have you. And check out my affirmation music online. I'm out here. All right. Bye. See you later. I love you so much. You're the greatest.